Hey guys, Mr. T here for another video. So if you haven't watched one of my other videos yet, I started a mini series ranking my top 10 favorite Pokemon from each generation. And I wanted to get this out there. I actually was thinking about putting this one out first, and then some stuff happened, and well, I didn't. So this is going to be second, but it's not. Just go watch the other video. It was my first top 10 video of the Kalos Gen 6 region. So, what I really want to do is there's a lot of amazing Pokemon, and the thing is because I've grown up with Pokemon, I literally remember playing the very first game when it first came out in the United States in 1998, and I've loved Pokemon ever since. So I have literally been around with Pokemon since the beginning. I've never known, or I've, Pokemon has always been a thing for me, and I got into it just as I started to have, that age where I could remember things. So I can literally never remember a time in my life when I didn't have Pokemon. So because of that, nostalgia, and I'm sure some of you know this, nostalgia kicks in hard when I think about Pokemon. So my top 10 list, all 10 of them happen to be the first four generations, which is roughly the first half of the Pokedex. So, with that being said, I do heavily favor the earlier games. Now, to be fair, even if we're taking nostalgia and bias aside, they are still some of the better games in some of the better regions, okay? Now, I don't think Pokemon deserves even remotely as much hate as it's been getting lately. Scarlet and Violet were actually phenomenal games. Legends ZA was actually super fun, especially when people remember it is a side game. Some people are saying, oh, well, it doesn't have this, this, and this. I'm like, it's not supposed to have those things. It's a side game. It's not a mainline game. And people forget that sometimes. So it's like, there are those things where I don't think Pokemon deserves as big of a rap as it should be getting nowadays. And I think people are expecting this, I get it. Pokemon is this billion-dollar, $100 billion franchise. It's the most profitable media franchise of all time. But you also got to remember, it's not trying to have the graphics of a Call of Duty or a Battlefield game. The point is to be cartoony. Nintendo's even come right out and said this. So it's like, yeah, would it be cool to have an Unreal Engine 6 Pokemon game? 100%. I would love to see a realistic Charizard, burning a Rillaboom. I don't know. Just throwing things out there. But that's not the point of Pokemon. And I think when you finally understand that, you start to realize it. Plus, the biggest haters of Pokemon are Pokemon fans. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So with that being said, I do want to throw some love at the more recent games because I do think Pokemon has had some phenomenal games recently. Like I said, Scarlet and Violet were great. There were a few things in terms of like some mechanics, like, there were some things with Legends Arceus that were amazing that they took out, but I think the game was amazing. It wasn't my favorite Pokemon game, but by no means did it deserve the hate that it got. Sword and Shield were awesome. I love those games. Some of the best Pokemon out there. The Galar region and the DLCs, I think they actually did the DLCs pretty good. Now, I wish they would have just put those games or the DLCs in the mainline game, but as a DLC, I think it was actually good. And even Legend ZA. Legend ZA is so amazing. I mean, the whole game takes place inside a city, and I have not once felt that it was a small map. The twists and turns and the vertical play that you can do in the buildings and stuff. I think Pokemon has done and Nintendo has done great. Now, again, yes, they could be doing better. I'm not ruling that out. There are a lot of things that I do think Nintendo needs to do better, but I do want to throw some love at these more recent games. So that's why I looked at the Pokedex, and there's 1,025 total Pokemon. If you break it up, it roughly breaks up evenly. If you actually broke it in half, you would have I think it was like Simisage and Pour. It's one of those monkeys that has like the three different types. That's roughly the halfway point. But if you actually break it up by generation, generations 1 through 4 has 493 Pokemon. Arceus is 493, and then the other 5 generations, 5 through 9, has 532. So it roughly is the halfway point are 1 through 4 and then 5 through 9. by coincidence, and I in no way, shape, or form planned this, by coincidence, my top 10 favorite Pokemon happen to all be from Gens 1 through 4. So I decided, let's do a top 10 list from generations 5 through 9. Because I still think there are some phenomenal Pokemon out there, and some of these Pokemon on this list were actually honorable mentions on my overall list. And some of these are easily my top 15, maybe top 20 favorite Pokemon of all time. So I want to throw some love at the more recent games because, some people hate the newer stuff, and I don't think it deserves the hate that it's been getting. So, again, I'll throw some honorable mentions out there. These are some of my honorable mentions. Minior, Alcremie, Oricorio, Floette. These are some Pokemon. I love these Pokemon because it's like they have those different versions, and it kind of helps with the catch-em-all concept. I know we haven't had a true National Dex Pokemon game in quite a while, and I know some people say, or some Nintendo is like, well, it'd be too much to animate. Okay, frickin' use AI. Sorry, didn't mean to go that far, but it's like, I want a game where I can naturally catch all 1,025 Pokemon. Is it realistic? No. Is it based on, actual what you could do in the real world? No, I get it. Animals are all spread out across the whole globe. I don't care. I want a true National Dex. Sorry, I went on a soapbox. But these are my honorable mentions. I know some of you are probably looking at some of these and going, oh my god, how could you put them as an honorable mention and not put them on the list? You're probably looking at Greninja over there on the right. That's probably one of the ones you're looking at. But again, I love these Pokemon. They're great. Samurott, I specifically put his Hisuian form. I probably should have put Decidueye on here too, his Hisuian form. So I don't know why I didn't put him on there. But yeah, these are some great Pokemon. I love them, but they didn't quite break the top 10. So my top 10 list for the second half of the Pokedex, my number 10 is, and this is a really awesome one. I maybe could have put him a little higher, but, is Ceruledge. How do you pronounce? I don't know how to pronounce it. This guy, look at this guy. He's literally a knight with sword arms. He is so much better than Armorog or Armaroog or however you pronounce his name, Charcadet's other evolved form. Ceruledge is a beast. And in combat, he's actually a really tough Pokemon. This guy looks cool. His typing is cool, the fire ghost typing. And again, just look at him. He is clearly a stacked Pokemon, and he is awesome. I loved using him in the games. I loved having him on my team. And I hope they bring him back in Generation 10 because it would be awesome to use him again. Apparently, he's becoming one of the more popular Pokemon too, based on trends and stuff. I was just reading about that the other day on one of the forums I follow. Okay. Now, my number 9, this guy, I'm not going to lie, Donkey Kong and King Kong had a little bit to do with this. You should already know exactly who this is, and that's Rillaboom. I don't know why I didn't put a picture with him without his drum. I realized that I was making this and I don't feel like going to find another picture. But Rillaboom is cool. I love his drum that he does. Grookey is such a cool Pokemon. Grookey is easily one of the better grass starters. Rillaboom is easily one of the better grass third stage starters. I love this guy. He's tough. It was fun playing with him in the games, and it was so cool to get him. I actually ended up doing a playthrough where I chose my favorite starter, and I'm not going to say who that was. Favorite starter from the Sword and Shield games. I'm not going to say who that is because he's also on this list. But then I traded in a Grookey egg so I could have both. Inteleon's not horrible, but I don't know. I think they could have done better with Inteleon. Rillaboom and Cinderace were so awesome. And then you have Inteleon, who is kind of just average or mid, really. So it's whatever. All right. Plus, I think it is kind of cool when they keep starters as one type. I know obviously my favorite is Charizard. He gets the flying type, fire flying. But I do think it is kind of cool when they keep the starters one type all the way through, because it kind of reinforces the fact that the starters are grass, fire, and water. So just for them to stay that way, I thought it was a cool concept. Now my next one, it is a Pika clone, and there's some Pika clones I like, some Pika clones I don't, but I love this Pika clone. And it was funny, so I'll show you what it is. It's Pawmot. So I was trying to play Paldea, or the Generation 10 or Generation 9 Scarlet and Violet. I tried doing it without looking it up the first time. I try to do that with most games. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my god, why won't my Pawmo evolve? So I thought, okay, it's not a Thunderstone. Then I thought, okay, it's not leveling up. It was like level like 40 or 50 something, and then I even tried some of the other things like, I actually traded it to a different game and then traded it back. I went to some of those like markets to see if there was any like trade items or evolution items. Nothing was working. So I finally broke down and looked it up, and it's like, I don't mind this, but I wish they would have made it a little more obvious. You have to have him run around with you outside of the Pokeball, kind of like a few other Pokemon, and I don't know how I feel about some of those weird evolution traits, because if you notice, like, every time there's a unique niche evolution trait that is only in one game, it's because they're trying to showcase something that was new for that game. Like Inkay evolving into Malamar, whatever his name is, or Malamar, whatever his name is. You had to hold your console upside down. And that was originally supposed to show the gyroscopics of the DS consoles, right? So it's like, you have trade evolutions, and then you have the like Onyx and Steelix trade evolutions while holding an item. All those niche evolution tricks that weren't just leveling up or using a stone. There was a reason for it behind the scenes. It was to showcase something new. And the ability to have your Pokemon outside of your Pokeball running around with you and fighting, that was the whole point of Palmo evolving into Palma. But I like this guy. He's a solid fighter. I like the electric fighting type. He was great in battle, and he was honestly my second main Pokemon in the Paldea region. He was my number 2 going into the game. So I thought he's just a great Pokemon, arguably the best Pika clone in my mind, even if you include Pikachu. So just throwing that out there. Now, my next 2 are actually unevolved forms, and I like them better than their evolved forms. So my number 7 is Timber. I mean, I've talked about Timber before in other videos. He's solid. I like his design. I think he's cool. Plus, I love his cards. I'm actually working right now on collecting every English version of Timber in the trading card game. I'm about 80% of the way done. That's holo rares, all of them. It's funny because I bought the Black and White series card of him, the Black Bolt. I can't remember if he's in Black Bolt or White Flare. I don't know why I'm just I'm drawing a blank. But I literally got a pack like a week ago, or about 2 weeks ago, and I pulled him. So now I have 2 of him. It's kind of funny. So one for the shelf and one for the binder. But yeah, Timber's awesome. I've gone on about him in my previous videos. He's great. He's cool. And I like how he's holding that little, piece of wood. It's kind of funny. My number 6 shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, and that's Quaxley. I mean, he's freaking Donald Duck. I mean, let's just be honest. I hate, and I've gone on this soapbox before, I hate Quaxquell and Quaxqueval, or however you say it. I mean, they cooked with Quaxley. And, I mean, everybody basically wanted a buff Donald Duck for his first and second, or his second and third evolutions. And then we got a weird dancing duck. It was so stupid. I hate them. But Quaxley, I mean, again, I almost picked Quaxley over Fuecoco. There's only been one time in the entire history of me starting a brand new Pokemon game, like for the first time playing that generation, where I didn't pick the fire starter, and that was when I picked Chikorita over Cyndaquil. Otherwise, I have always done the fire starter on my first playthrough. I almost broke that for Quaxley, but Fuecoco is pretty cute too. Now my top 5. My number 5 is Saucebuck, specifically the winter form, which is kind of funny because I hate the cold. That's why I love living in Arizona. But I love Saucebuck and Deerling. I love their cards too. I have the I don't know why I keep getting Black Bolt and White Flare mixed up, which cards go in which. But I have their cards with each other. I think it's Temporal Forces. That or Paradox Rift. It's one of those like earlier Scarlet and Violet decks. I love that one where it's like the 2 cards, Saucebuck and Deerling, are the seasons in the background, and the cards actually go together. Love it. But Saucebuck is such an awesome Pokemon. I loved using him in the Unova games, the Black and White games. He's actually solid in battle too. He's actually a really good choice in battle, so it's not like he's just cool looking. He actually can back it up. Now for my number 4, number 3 and 4 were I kind of bounced back and forth on them, but I figured I like Galar more than Paldea, so that's why I put 3 and 4 that direction. So my number 4 is Skeledirge. I think they cooked with him. Easily one of the better fire starters. I would probably put him at like fourth for overall for fire starters. He is awesome. I love the way, I love his look, his movements, his typing, his overall vibe basically. He is a awesome stacked Pokemon, and Fuecoco is such a cool, cute little Pokemon. I like someone mentioned how Scorbunny and Fuecoco both looked like they had a piece of cheese thrown at their face, and it's kind of funny because if you look at it, that actually is what it looks like. But yeah, Skeledirge is awesome. He was easily my first choice once I saw Fuecoco. Again, Quaxley over Fuecoco, but Skeledirge so much better than Quaxquaval or Quaxquell or whatever the heck his name is. So yeah, Skeledirge is awesome. Now my number 3 is another fire starter, and that's Cinderace. I've liked Cinderace for years now. Again, I think Sword and Shield are some of the better Pokemon games out there. The Galar region is probably one of my more favorite regions, and the Galar Pokedex is actually a really awesome stacked Pokedex. I actually like Galar and Paldea. They're actually two of the better Pokedexes overall. But I love Cinderace. I mean, he's literally a soccer player, and soccer's my favorite sport. Scorbunny is one of the better fire starters, actually just one of the better starters, period. But I love Cinderace. He is such an awesome, amazing looking Pokemon, and he is so cool. And I like his fire. Oh my god, the fireball move that he does, where he actually kicks the pebble and then actually like kicks the ball at your face. It's so cool. Easily one of the better Pokemon out there. Arguably, Cinderace could be like a 10th or 11th place, or 11th or 12th place for me overall. Honestly, I probably could put him up there. He's easily my top 15. Now, my number 2 is Boltund. Right? Honestly, the only reason Boltund got put above Cinderace is because electric type is my favorite. Like, Cinderace and Boltund are neck and neck. When I saw Yamper, when they were first introduced Sword and Shield, I knew that was the first Pokemon I had to catch, and I went out of my way to make sure I got a Yamper. And then evolving him into Boltund, I'm like, oh my god, he only got better. I love Boltund. I love the way he looks. I love his battle capabilities. I love his typing. I mean, again, electric is my favorite type. I just think Boltund is awesome. Such a great Pokemon. Easily my probably 11th or 12th, maybe like 12th or 13th favorite Pokemon of all time. And then my final one, my number 1. This one I thought about it quite hard, and I love this Pokemon. He is so cute, and I'm actually working on a project with him right now, and that's Gimmighoul. I think Gimmighoul is one of the coolest Pokemon concepts. Easily my number 11. Like, I could easily put him at number 11, maybe 12 tops. But he, honestly, I would probably put Gimmighoul in my top 10. Overall, not just on this list. I love Gimmighoul. Like, I actually have a Gimmighoul on my team right now because I was replaying Violet. Or Scarlet. And I actually have purposely gone out of my way not to get Gimmighoul coins so I don't evolve him. Like, I don't hate Goldingo. Goldingo's cool and all. And I do like the concept, though. So if you haven't noticed, Gimmighoul's number is 999 and Goldingo is 1000. To evolve Gimmighoul into Goldingo, you have to collect 1,000 Gimmighoul coins. And then Goldingo is number 1,000. So I heard that it wasn't a coincidence. They did that on purpose. I just thought that was kind of a cool concept. But I love Gimmighoul. This guy is such a cute little Pokemon. He's just trying to get money, and then you go up and you steal it from him. I actually have a little version of him where he's holding a quarter instead of a Pokecoin. But yeah, Gimmighoul is awesome. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is my top 10 favorite from the second half of the Pokedex. Got to give some love to those newer games because I think they get a lot of hate out there when it's undeserved. So, stick around for my mini-series where I'm ranking all the different regions. Stick around for some other things I got going. I got some other videos coming, non-Pokemon. And, yeah, as always, stay beautiful, Americans, and peace.